Neuralink. You've seen the pig typing with its brain, or the monkey playing Pong without touching a joystick. But what if I told you Neuralink's real breakthrough isn't what you think? Now what is it really? Some say it'll cure paralysis, others think it will let us upload thoughts to the cloud, or even become cyborgs. Most people believe it's something out of science fiction. The truth is more technical, more mechanical, and somehow even more revolutionary. Because at its core, Neuralink isn't about reading your mind. It's about listening to your neurons and turning spikes into signals a machine can understand. Most brain implants use rigid needles, like the Utah array, tiny spikes pressed into the brain to capture signals. But Neuralink takes a different path. They've built ultra-thin, flexible threads, each one smaller than a human hair. They're so thin, they'd crumple if you tried to push them in by hand, which is why they built a surgical robot, a machine that inserts each thread one by one into the cortex with micron-level precision. And here's why it matters. Your brain shifts up to 10 to 15 microns with every heartbeat, enough to shear rigid probes. But flexible threads bend and glide with the tissue, reducing scarring, increasing stability, and staying viable for years instead of months. This design isn't just delicate, it's strategic. More electrodes, less trauma, and a system that is built for longevity. When a neuron fires, it creates a tiny burst of voltage, just a few hundred microvolts. But if you are listening with the right tool, that spark becomes a signal. Each Neuralink thread contains dozens of electrodes, recording spikes from nearby neurons, sampling thousands of times per second. Because in neural time, even a few milliseconds can mean the difference between thought and action. These signals travel to the onboard chip where they're amplified, digitized, cleaned, and even compressed before wireless transmission to reduce heat and power draw. It's like taking whispers and turning them into clear sentences. So from there, the data is streamed wirelessly to a receiver outside the skull. And that signal, those spikes, can now be fed into software, algorithms, and even machine learning models. So you have from neuron to thread to chip to code. Neuralink isn't just theory, it's already working in real brains. In 2021, they showed a monkey playing Pong using nothing but its thoughts. But the magic wasn't Pong, it was prediction. Before the monkey moved the joystick, Neuralink had already learned what the intended motion looked like from inside the brain. Then they disconnected the joystick and let the monkey move the paddle with thought alone. More recently, they showed another breakthrough, which is a patient selecting letters on screen by imagining hand movement. This is Neuralink today, predicting motion, mapping intention, and restoring control one spike at a time. You also have other companies that are building brain implants, but Neuralink is building an ecosystem. Look, they didn't just design the implant by itself. They built the robot that inserts it, the chip that amplifies it, the protocol that streams it, and the app that decodes it. It's full stack neural technology. And by the way, each company has a different answer. Blood vessel, bandwidth, or biocompatibility. But I'll tell you this, Neuralink's bet is on integration, owning the entire stack. And it's not just about reading the brain. Neuralink's implant can also send signals back into the brain. This is possible thanks to its stimulation capabilities, where precisely timed electrical pulses can interact with neural circuits. Because decoding intention is only the beginning. The next frontier is writing to the brain. Stimulation could treat pain, restore motion, maybe even memory, and with closed-loop feedback, it could adapt in real time. This is what makes Neuralink different. It's not just a device, it's a bridge. Neuralink is still in early trials. The system is complex and the risks are real. It's not perfect. It needs years of testing. And like all powerful tools, it raises very hard questions. Who owns your neural data? Can it be protected? Should healthy people ever get this implanted? Look, Neuralink's vision is bold. Some say reckless, others say inevitable. But whatever you believe, one thing is clear. The boundary between thought and technology is getting thinner, because once we can read and write to the brain reliably, wirelessly, and at scale, the line between human and machine doesn't blur, it dissolves. And one last thing to remember, The first computer shrank rooms into desktops, and the first smartphone shrank desktops into pocket, and now Neuralink, which shrinks the interface into your neurons. The question is, what happened when the last screen disappears? This isn't the end of the story. It is the start of a new species.